Hello everyone, it's your bud. Now you may have noticed, but I've fallen back into a sci-fi mood, and today's video will be no exception. In today's video, we will be talking about one of my absolute favorite parts of Warhammer 40k, the Rogue Traders, the freelancers and privateers of the Imperium of Man. Given warrants of trade and exploration by the highest office, and expected to represent humanity's interest in the deep void, far from the light of the Astronomicon. To be a rogue trader is to travel the stars in the Emperor's name with such purpose and freedom unheard of by all other citizens of the Imperium. Even the ever-scrutinizing Inquisition has less freedom, as the Inquisitors are not only expected to police the galaxy, but to police themselves as well. The rogue traders have no such obligation. Their only goal is that which matters to them personally. Though when returning to the Imperium, many of these rogue traders break and crash upon the reef that is the defenses and bureaucracy of the Imperium of Mankind, and crossing that reef to get to Holy Terra is perhaps the most dangerous position a rogue trader can find themselves in. Out in the void, they are masters of their great spacefaring vessels, but to make land at Holy Terra or any other guarded system, they must first cross the expansive and ever-protected borders of humanity, bristling with troops and countless target sensors and guided locked-on weaponry, and such has become the death of many a rogue trader when they approach without heed of humanity's dogma and crushing suspicion. Rather than risking a tainted rogue trader ship into their port, many will blast whatever belligerent or self-important rogue trader they find out of the sky, then see them bring their reckless and cavalier attitude into a carefully controlled system under a strict and iron-fisted governor. The rogue trader is a special exception within the Imperium of Man. They are humans who have been seen fit to lead entire households or even dynasties of explorers, colonists, or masters of a personal army conscripted through their rights given to them. Some rogue trader households becoming trading dynasties, inhabiting well-known routes and starways. Others scouring the void for their enemies of humanity with a self-conscripted regiment of guardsmen that they have equipped with gear and weaponry far beyond their usual station, and able to outfit them with increasingly powerful gear to complete whatever missions the rogue trader believes would benefit humanity, though making sure to stay out of the business of others as much as possible, as to see as little outside resistance towards them and their freedom of movement. Some rogue traders make great explorers, seeking out lost archaeotech and lost colonies in an attempt to bring back the brilliance of humanity's golden age, and to once again uplift their fellow kin to the once great heights that they achieved. And yet, amongst the rogue traders, there are also those who are no better than the pirates that plague many solar lanes out on the outskirts of the civilized Imperium. These rogue traders are seen to be just as dangerous as the Eldar Exodites, and just as fickle and self-obsessed. Many rogue traders rely on discovered archaeotech that they gather, building up stores of rare and powerful weapons, teleportation devices, shielding, or any other golden age trinkets or super weapons that you can imagine, anything from small tiny trinkets up to planet-sized super weapons or even larger. After gaining many of these, they require to keep them safe and gather more and more of a retinue until they become a rogue trader dynasty. Many of these powerful dynasties were started in the first days of the Emperor's appearance, and many of the writs of trade remain in their descendants' hands, now surrounded by countless void ships, transports, war vessels, space stations, mining vessels, hospital ships, and more. And there are also rogue traders with a less reputable origin. When a planetary governor or someone of great power is seen to have committed worthy enough crimes, perhaps a death assassin cult or something like that, not to the level of heresy though, they will sometimes be banished by the higher powers and forced into a position of rogue trader, essentially exile from their home planet, forced to leave their home and apply their cunning and ruthless behavior against the enemies of mankind amongst the stars. These rogue traders may yet build a dynasty for themselves should they be able to accomplish such a thing in the dangerous space a rogue trader travels, although these rogue traders will never again be able to return to the home they once knew, forever banished to roam the stars in service to the Emperor. In the early days of the Imperium, the Emperor sought to empower other humans. Though he kept much of his technological and psychic knowledge close, he was not above giving freedom and the power to govern, explore, or make war to those citizens he felt worthy to receive such an uplifting of station. As mentioned, many of the writs of trade, exploration, and war were written by the Emperor himself, signed by his own hand, and such writs are treasured icons of a rogue trader dynasty. Not only the sole evidence of their house's right and power, but being an artifact given to the ancient rogue traders of their household by the Emperor's hands himself. Though the power has been given to others to write such a warrant, those written by the Emperor's hands himself are treasures beyond measure to such households. Many have also been scribed by Guilliman, and I can assume that the other Primarchs have had the right to do so as well. Although that would put some of the rogue trader dynasties into question should we come to learn that any were given their warrant by Horus or any other traders before their discovery of heresy. I hope all the ancient rogue trader dynasties have been scrutinized and those given warrants by traders destroyed. I hope such a thing came to pass. Rogue traders also have another freedom unheard of to most citizens of the Imperium, not only to communicate, but to sometimes cooperate with Xenos. The rogue traders are given the authority on whether to kill or conquer newly discovered Xenos, or those individual Xenos or groups they come into contact with. Many rogue traders end up having Xenos as part of their crew, both for the extra tech and power and knowledge, or for whatever personal reason they can convince an Inquisitor not to kill them for. And it has been speculated that many of these human-Xenos relationships have been going on since the early days of the Imperium, and there may be Xenos and human cooperation amongst certain members of rogue trader households and dynasty for now over 10,000 years. This can be a frightening and horrifying prospect to most of humanity. However, it is one of the most comforting to me. The fact that the practice of cooperation between other species has been going on within the Imperium for over 10,000 years is proof of the model of how we should live. Not in the Tau greater good slavery, but in cooperation under the mantle of humanity. These Xenos-human partnerships could be short-lived and die as the many species in the galaxy hold differing lifespans, but if a rogue trader believed it profitable to bring aboard a Xenos, and their partnership, the partnership between humanity and these Xenos, is profitable for both, it might have been sustained over generation after generation for 10,000 years. And depending on the Xenos, a single Eldar in partnership with a rogue trader in the earliest days of the Imperium may yet be still a part of the Descendants' inherited dynasty as an advisor, much like the Battle Brothers who have been interred within a dreadnought, offering counsel and advice to their kin generation after generation. And as I don't want the Inquisitors to hunt me down, I won't discuss the details of what I'm sure must be the logical conclusion of such confined spaces and generation of human and Xenos cooperation and partnership. But I'm sure you've wondered why in the earliest days of the Imperium there have been mentions of half-Xenos humans, and this is a possible explanation. Have such things occurred and are being kept a secret? Who knows, and who can wonder what twisted human forms may exist in some of these rogue trader dynasties hidden away from prying eyes. One of the other things I always dreamed was that the best of humanity and the other rogue traders explored the farthest reaches that humanity has gone to, that being beyond the galaxy. I always dreamed that rogue traders would return from another galaxy after leaving our own and traveling to another. They might have found new partnerships and willing allies, and they may be on their way back right now to combat the looming Tyranid threat with yet even newer races from beyond the galaxy. It is known that rogue traders have gone in search in all directions, and there are those who have sailed beyond the borders of the galaxy. For those who have done so, I have always wondered why none have ever returned. Even in humanity's golden age, there were those who must have left to go beyond our own galaxy's edge, to search for another, and now with the Tyranid threat that must blot out the stars and be clearly visible to those who have left our galaxy, I always dream that the humans that have gone beyond the galaxy's edge and can witness the approaching Tyranid horde will return in force to save the birthplace of humanity, and to come with unheard of tech or even new Xenos allies. That was a bit of a diversion, but I thought I would mention my love for rogue traders and how it extends far beyond just the single galaxy that the Imperium of Man is currently fighting to gain control over. Still, the stories from just our own galaxy are endless, and the variation in humanity can best be displayed to the Xenos through the plethora of personalities presented by the rogue traders. To be a rogue trader is to be a human with rights and freedoms unheard of by most, and though they may hold such power with dignity and poise, many more grow insufferable for it, falling into decadence and ruthless behavior that can even endanger the Imperium itself. Yet they still have a place. Such obtrusive humans are the perfect defense against the Xenos, and directing their wrath towards humanity's enemies can make them still useful tools of the Imperium. Some members of the military are also given warrants of trade and made to be rogue traders. These sometimes become militant dynasties, or be short-lived and ill-fated fodder for the endless battlefield of the 41st Millennium, although their households would be very different than the rogue traders from the Administratum, given such vessels to implement carefully played out strategies, and though they both rely heavily upon battle, it's quite different. While a militant rogue trader may fall in battle towards one of the innumerable foes of the Imperium, the rogue trader of the Ecclesiarchy or Administrata will usually fight in the courtroom with poison or in the shadowed halls with daggers and digi-weapons. The words of such rogue traders of the Ecclesiarchy are as dangerous as the militant forces employed by an Imperial Guardsman's rogue trader household, and though many do not cross certain lines in the pursuit of their power, there are some rogue traders and their households to whom heresy is an unknown concept, and should they come into contact with the forces of the Imperium or the Inquisition, they will be purged along with their households. And even for those well-meaning rogue traders, should they act suspect or show hostility or hesitation towards compliance with the orders of Inquisitors or Marines, they will soon find themselves disposed of for their impudence and lack of cooperation, even if the cooperation sought of them meant the destruction of their household and forces, such as the sacrifice asked by all those within the Imperium of Man in the 41st Millennium. The freedom granted by the warrant of trade can only be maintained by those worthy or cunning enough to keep it, and as such, rogue traders can be as shrewd as Eldar corsairs, or as noble and self-sacrificing as the greatest marine, their spirit and soul being that which they are valued for, and that which much of the Xenos see when they come into contact with humanity. The Xenos will run into humans toiling upon their homeworlds, or warriors of giant size of the Marines, or the endless number in the Guard, and then those individuals that would seem out of place in such rigid structure, yet outside of that structure, numerous humans still exist, in their void ships gathering ever more impressive forces or discoveries, whether technological or of psychic nature. These humans exist beyond the bureaucracy of man, or even beyond the borders of the Imperium, and their authority is their greatest power. What they do with it is completely their choice, falling to chaos and ruin in acts parallel to the Dark Eldar in Kamara, or rediscovering lost human colonies and bringing new people into the Imperium of Man, be they human or Xenos. And yet even more create something new rather than discovering something old and lost. These humans ever looking to the future are the hopeful and the courageous ones, while many of their brethren only think of their personal future and of their personal enrichment. Many rogue traders believe the word enrichment to mean many different things. For example, a Mechanicus rogue trader would be vastly different than an Inquisitor rogue trader, or yet again a planetary governor given a warrant of trade. All would operate different, and all would seek to complete different goals. Yet all those goals should come to profit the Imperium of mankind or humanity itself. A Sister of Battle becoming a rogue trader, or one of the policemen of the Incitizens, the Adeptus Arbites, could be very different rogue traders. Merchants, artisans, or scribes also can gain warrants of trade as well, meaning out there amongst the stars are households or dynasties of artisans who search the stars for humanity's art, or even learn new art forms from the countless Xenos that inhabit the galaxy. As well, there are merchants with trade deals with even more Xenos or human colonies running trades of spice, goods, or raw materials, and scribes who travel the stars as sort of remembrancers in search of stories to pen and knowledge to record. Like the remembrancers of old before the scattering and dissolution of that order, to have artists, warriors, diplomats, scribes, explorers, privateers, Traders, businessmen, noble idealists, and ruthless privateers all in one group of humans is unheard of in the 41st millennium. To have free thinkers and free spirits willing to take the initiative without the backup and safety net of society and the rest of humanity is an inspiring thing. And aside from the Emperor and his holy light that is reflected in his most prized warriors and saints, I believe the most inspiring thing in the entire Imperium of mankind, the most important thing humanity has in the 41st millennium, is the example that the rogue traders set, that a single human can determine their own destiny and that they can benefit the rest of their species by following their dreams. And though not always seen in such a romantic light when the dream is to terrorize and engage in piracy in the Emperor's name, I think that rogue traders represent steadfast determination and unstoppable drive, and though within the innumerable personalities and infinite variety and infinite forms displayed amongst rogue traders, we show humanity at our worst, we can also clearly see those who display humanity at our very best. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. I just looked at the time and it's getting pretty late. If I want to get this online, I have to stop talking now. But clearly you can see how much I like rogue traders. Along with the Inquisition and the Sisters of Battle, the rogue traders are one of my favorite things about 40k. I really wasn't sure about making this video because there are so many great videos about rogue traders online, but I just couldn't help myself and I had to make sure that this was a topic that I discussed on my channel. My favorite video about rogue traders is by Luton. It's the Spirit of Humanity video. I didn't watch his video before I started writing this so that I wouldn't plagiarize or copy, but I have watched that video so many times that honestly I don't even have a tab or wiki open. I just have my text document open, my notepad, and I'm just writing. This is another script that I wrote just from pure memory. So as I was saying, I didn't want to just copy Luton, so if my video is similar, I didn't mean it to be. I made sure not to listen to his video or to read the wiki for rogue traders before I started making this so that my video would be unique and from my perspective, and it would be unique from the many other 40k lore videos out there. So this was my script in my words, and even though this information is out there in many other videos or online on the wikis, I had to get a rogue trader video online on my channel. They are just so cool. Well, thanks again for watching. If you enjoyed this and want me to make more 40k, then leave this video a like. A like really helps me decide what video to make next, and subscribe for daily videos. I make a new video every single day on this channel. Leave any questions or suggestions in the comments below, especially if I miss something, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Thanks for watching.